Okay, that's it. That's good. Don't move.
Don't move.
No, don't move.
That's hard to not move. I was born in Fountain Green, Utah on January 2nd, 1929. I would have been a New Year's baby. I missed it by about half an hour. We just finished celebrating Christmas, and my kids usually celebrated both Christmas and my birthday. Sometimes we had two big parties. My mom and dad had 9 children. I was the 5th one, and 2 of them have died. They died when they were real young. 4 boys and 5 girls. The one baby died, and the only picture we have of her is in the casket. My dad was going to start up in the grocery store business, so we moved to Salt Lake for training, and then we moved to Reno, Nevada, where he started the first Skaggs grocery store. My dad's health wasn't good, so we went to a smaller store in Ely, Nevada. That's where I was raised. I think we had a good family. We got along well. I don't ever remember fighting with my mom. My sister Faye, she had a few fights with Mom. But we all got along pretty well. And so we were all raised out in Ely. I went through elementary and high school out there. My dad was drafted to World War I, and they sent him over to France. I think he got a touch of that bad flu that was going around, so they sent him home. They never could figure out what was wrong with him, but he had a brother that was a doctor, and they tried to help my dad to improve his health, and he never really got well. So he was having one of those attacks. We had a neighbor that lived behind us that was a nurse, and so Mom, because Dad was sick, Mom sent us out of the house to play. And Dad was on the couch in the living room. They came back out and said that he had died. After my dad died in 1939, Mom started Faye and I in tap dance lessons, so she made all of our costumes. I did it until I left and went to BYU. The man that taught us to tap dance, he lived here in Salt Lake, and he would come out to Ely to give us our lessons. He was a policeman. He was a tap dancer also. Came to Salt Lake one time, and he had us tap dance for the mayor. I do not enjoy getting up in front of people. But Mom did it because she was so stressed after Dad died and left her with 7 kids to raise. But anyway, we got through it. It was a tough time for Mom. After Dad died, we left Mom with the grocery store, so she was trying to do that by herself, and my 2 older brothers, when they were drafting guys for World War II, they drafted both of my older brothers and left Mom to try to run a grocery store. She finally decided she had to sell the store, and then Mom went to work a couple of different jobs. She and my neighbor lady went to work at the airport. They were recovering airplanes, and she said she was never going to go up in one of those planes because they're just paper thin. After I graduated from high school, I worked a year at JCPenney as a cashier and worked at Geneva Steel Company as a secretary. Did 2 years at BYU. I paid for everything myself. Mom didn't have any money, and I tried to send her money. And then My brother Don got polio, and I had to go home to help take care of him, so I was never able to finish BYU. He is paralyzed from the waist down, and he lived in a wheelchair most of his life. He ended up with his master's degree and was a professor at Weber State College. He found out he could use his legs, but he could use his brain. I went to work out in Ely for Dr. Sondraker as the secretary. And during that time, I met Ron. Ron and I got married, and we were only married 2 months when he was drafted and ended up in Kansas. Ron was in the military for 2 years. Ron and I had a prayer circle with the other members of the church in that area. Ron was not sent to Korea, but all the other guys were, so prayers work. We lived in Manhattan, Kansas, and started raining, and rained for days. We lived on the second floor, and plus it was a hill. It rained that night really bad, and the water came up and covered our car. And they came and got us by boat, and we stayed with a member of the church's family. So we did get our car cleaned, but it was always smelled. The water came high enough to the entrance of the house. It was starting to come in the front door when they took us. And I remember they'd go to each intersection and they'd go way up like this and then come back down so they get through the intersection. And Ron's mother, she just thought that was so wonderful that she had a boat ride in a flood. And she told that story, and every time she told that story, she made it a little bit bigger. We were married about, I think, 2.5 years before Randy came along. He used to charge $100 for a birth. Actually, I had a miscarriage before him, but I've never said much about that. When they ask me how many kids I have, I usually say 5, but really I actually had 6. We told our friend once that we were going to have 14, and I don't know why we said that. We had 4, and I told Ron, I said, if we're going to have any more, we better do it now, because I wanted to have another one before I was 40. We planned it so Corianne was born, so she could start school in the fall when school starts. And she still thinks that it was a mistake having her. She didn't know that we planned it exactly when to have it. I always believed in the church, and I always felt that it was the right church. I never questioned it. I know my kids are good, and I love them, appreciate that. They've been easy to take care of. Being good kids. You'll be happy, and it looks like you're doing the right thing. You love being together.
You keep writing.
Oh, sure. He's doing right,
What was it with your mom?
Oh, all I know is that she rode in the first automobile that came out. We should have done this about 5 years ago, what I can think.